How you doing, everyone? Alexander here, and what I want to talk about today is performance and delivery in your communication. Now, I'm here in Greece and I'm inspired by this lovely little mini amphitheater, and that just reminded me that Greeks are the one who have mastered the art of oratory, of communicating to the masses, to the public, delivering your message on big stages, debating, learning how to get their points across well so that they're received well. And me having a couple years of experience in coaching, really seeing how a lot of people fail in focusing on delivery of their message more rather than on the content. The most common question people ask is, well, what do I say? What do I talk about? In social situations, in dating situations, people focusing on getting their presentation really well, getting all the numbers right, getting all the pictures and images, which is very important and helps, but the crucial and really the most important is how you say it, because you're gonna get none of your content across to the person without saying it really well. The art of delivery, the art of performance, mastering that. Now, what constitutes a good delivery? What combines it? What makes a good delivery good and well received? Well, you can say, if you're at the receiving end of it, you can just say, well, yeah, I want to listen to that, I want to consume that, my attention is captured, and I want to keep watching that video, keep listening to that person, I want to ask more questions. You become engaged. But as a person delivering and learning how to communicate well, sometimes it might be difficult to put yourself in the position of the other person. We don't need to focus on all the technicalities, how to move your body, how to move your hands, how to move your head, and none of that nonsense, right? It's not gonna really build a strong foundation in delivery and in performance. It won't, because you already have natural intelligence of the body. All of your body, right? Including this, all of your body has intelligence. And when somebody else is communicating to you, using their body and really engaging their vocals, dynamics of the voice, the cadence, varying speed of how they say things, when somebody is engaging all of that, your body responds to that really well as well. And that's when you start listening. That's when the brain becomes engaged, because the other parts of your body, the whole cell, all of the cells become engaged in listening to that. So the main thing you have to do to deliver things really well is get rid of the fear. Get fear-free. Get liberated from anxiety, from fear that's paralyzing you, that's stopping you, that's cramping your body up, that's tightening your chest, raising your shoulders up, cramping your stomach, makes your feet not move. Right? When you wanna start moving, but they become frozen and you can't move, like you're stuck in a swamp. Okay? All of those psychosomatic symptoms of fear overpowering you, get in the way of you having natural body's expressiveness. Okay? Now, if we look at maybe some of the nations, some of the people that are naturally more expressive. Every country has them, and there are some countries that are stereotypically more expressive than others, like Italians. Papa, who cooked the pizza? The spaghetti is disgusting. Naturally they're just really delivering with their body and vocals so much. It's kind of part of the culture. Obviously it's not every Italian. Yes, South is more expressive than the North. There's all these differences, but generally we can kind of simplify the message and see that some nations are more expressive. Yeah, North Europeans are a little bit more closed off, could be due to the weather. South Europeans usually a bit more expressive, could be due to the weather. People in different parts of America are more expressive, less expressive. It's also, people in the big cities have a varied degree of expressiveness. Some are very suppressed and closed off, and maybe don't even go out on the sun too much, and then wear a lot of gothic clothes and talk about how they're depressed and want to kill themselves, and some others are different. So the key thing is anyone has access to those, to that natural body's intelligence of expressiveness, body language, vocal tonality, and all of that. So the big question is, how do we get rid of that fear? What do we do to get rid of those psychosomatic symptoms of fear, of social conditioning, of being paralyzed? And that's a good question to ask. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been scared of the dark? Have you ever been scared of looking under your bed, thinking there's a monster there? Have you ever been scared to enter a dark room or open a door to the dark room, thinking there's going to be a monster there? How many times did you need to push through that fear and anxiety and actually open the door or look underneath your bed or open the closet with the monster, the cookie monster, and see that there is nothing there? It's really that simple. The access to freedom from fear lies through the fear. We don't need to write scientific books on that. We don't need to do research. It's obvious in our own experience. Ontologically, we know that that's what happens every time we take a step and we break boundary a little bit. We get a little bit more free. The art of actually making significant shifts in breaking your fear, the art of making something very obvious to you that, oh, I had a breakthrough here, not just becoming a little bit more confident, but significantly more confident. The art here lies in breaking it down to small enough steps that they're manageable, biteable size, like little snack instead of a massive burger where most people can't even open their mouth wide enough. Biteable little snacks that you can gently bite off that big elephant of fear. So how do you do that? Say, for example, you have a fear of public speaking. Say, like most people, quite likely, you're afraid of speaking in front of 10,000 people. Now look at all this crowd I have gathered over here. Wave to my fans. If you're anxious to speak in front of a big crowd, 100 people, 50 people, 1,000 people, it's quite normal. Now, what would be a biteable size step towards that? Well, speaking to less people would be one. How about we just even remove the human component from it? How about you just do the speaking, just by yourself in a safe space? For example, that could be your room or your house, or if that place is not good enough, you could do it in a music studio where there's loads of noise and nobody can hear you. Or you can do it in the woods when there's nobody around you. Or you can do it in around a very loud highway when there's trucks and cars driving by, so there's so much noise and nobody is going to see you. Or a lot of people start in their cars while they're driving. Quite likely nobody's going to see you, right? So creating a very safe environment where you can isolate a segment of the whole component, public speaking. We get rid of the public for now and just focus on the speaking. So at least we can get that aspect good. Okay? And then you can practice on your expressiveness. How expressive can you be just by yourself? Can you just go super loud and super expressive? Look at me! Or is there something physical holding you back? Then there's opportunity for you to start releasing tension in your body. And that can be done in multiple ways. I spoke about letting go. A lot of the times, yoga is incredible. It has had helped me to constitute incredible shifts in my performance. Small exposure therapy, gym, stretching, all sorts of other bioenergetics. There's all sorts of alternatives that are available, but it's about creating a controlled environment, causing or triggering tension if it's supposed to happen, if you naturally have it, as in you've acquired it over time. Triggering tension. Voice getting quiet. Oh, hi, how are you? People get tension in their vocal cords when they get nervous, they start speaking very high. Triggering tension and then releasing it consciously. So bringing awareness, your own consciousness, your own focus, bringing that awareness into your body, because that's when naturally you bring it out of the body somewhere else, somewhere in your imagination, and that's when you get tight. Because who would actually hold tension without choice? Would you ever hold tension in your body without choice? You wouldn't. So when you actually have a choice, then you realize, maybe I can just relax my shoulders. I'm relaxed now. So that is one way to start doing that. Then we can take the public segment from public speaking and start looking into what are the triggers, what are the limitations of you being in front of people. Can you speak to one person? Can you speak to somebody who you're comfortable with? Your mother, your father, your grandmother, your brother, sister, sibling, wife, girlfriend, husband, whatever else, teacher, coach, personal trainer, taxi driver, whoever you're comfortable with. Can you speak to them normally? How do you feel around them? If your expressiveness in a safe environment is 100%, how much is your expressiveness around other people? Is it 50%, 30%, 80%, 10%, 1%, 0%? And then you can use those triggers, social triggers, to start slowly using the same process that we used in the first example. So same variety of healing options, letting go techniques, yoga, meditation, bioenergetics, Reiki, stretching, but conscious, that bringing awareness to the body, releasing the tension. You can start bringing those techniques into those social situations. And if you get advanced enough, you don't even need to be in a social situation. You can just really imagine it vividly. For example, imagine yourself at a festival and there's a group of people and you want to speak to them, and then you get anxious. Or say you're somebody who wants to be dating and you see somebody of the opposite sex that you want to speak to, and then you get anxiety. You can just imagine those situations and trigger that anxiety in a safe environment. That's one way. And if your imagination doesn't work to that extent, you can just go and put yourself in situations. And you can do balance of both, because once you expose yourself to enough social situations that trigger your anxiety, you can consciously start imagining those situations, trigger it, and then practice letting go. And balancing between those two will give you access to social freedom. The real world part of it is very important, and you can just accelerate it with the imaginary part. Now, in theory, it sounds very simple, but we also need to break down the social situations into small steps. For example, can you start and do a speech in front of 100 people? That could be quite overwhelming. Well, we can reduce it to one person. Can you just say hi to one person? Or are you even comfortable enough asking for time or directions? Or can you maybe have a bit of a banter with a cashier or somebody who serves you coffee? Can you say, oh, how was your day? Oh, I wish you have a good day, or blah, blah, blah. Oh, you look very happy today. What's your name? Da, da, da. Anyway, I'm gonna go and wash my clothes, blah, blah, blah. Do. Let me bring my stuff to the laundromat. You can have a bit of a nonsense conversation with them, a bit of a banter, maybe try to put a smile on their face with a joke, with a cheeky comment, with a compliment. Love your hat, by the way, it looks great. Have a good day. Something real simple, but how comfortable can you be within yourself while delivering that? And I don't think anyone has 100% social freedom, but people have some very high degrees of it. And we still want to be aware of what's normal, yet we don't want to be physically limited by it, right? So those two things, if you do, I promise you will have breakthrough results in your performance, in your delivery. And if your business has to do with dealing with people, you're gonna have progress in business, you're gonna have amazing relationships, amazing dating life, great relationship with your family, friends, wife, children, and life will just become a lot easier and more peaceful. Have a lovely day.